Welcome to the webinar. Today we will be exploring the parent portal for Mastery Connect. Mastery Connect is a system that keeps track of student understanding and mastery of state standards. As a parent, you should have received an email with directions on how to activate your parent account. Once you have completed that process, go to the Mastery Connect homepage and click Login. Mastery Connect allows us to take advantage of all the benefits of standard-based reporting. With Mastery Connect, teachers can identify students' level of understanding for each standard. Teachers can then target instruction for intervention and extensions. Reflecting on this information allows teachers to improve learning and instruction within the classroom. We are going to take some time now to become familiar with the information in Mastery Connect. Student levels of understanding for each standard are indicated in Mastery Connect by the Mastery, Approaching, and Partial Knowledge with Support designations. Students who demonstrate mastery will have a green box with an M next to the standard. This means the student shows an understanding of the skill with little to no help. A student who demonstrates that they are approaching the standard will have a yellow box with an A in it. This means that the student has made progress towards understanding the skills in the standard and required further practice and some teacher assistance. A student who demonstrates partial knowledge with assistance may have difficulty with skills in the standard and require additional instruction, practice, and teacher assistance. Please note that this may also mean that the student has had limited exposure to the standard. Many of the teachers will give a student a pre-test before beginning a unit so they know where to target their instruction. If you suddenly see a lot of red in your child's progress, it is possibly coming from a pre-assessment of skills he or she hasn't learned yet. In a few minutes, I'll show you how to tell the difference. I want to give you a snapshot of what teachers see in Mastery Connect. This is called a teacher tracker. When student information goes in, the teacher can see it in one view. When you log in as a parent, you will see the current classes your student is in. Some students may have more than one class listed if they ever work with a different teacher for math. You can also see archived classes, which will include information from prior years. Since last year was our first year, there will be limited information in this section. There is a section for progress reports. Also, we will not be using that feature at this time, so you won't see a progress report in the parent portal. When you look at your child's current class, you'll see a status bar off to the right. This indicates the percent of standards assessed. This is not a percentage grade, nor is it a percentage of problems they have completed. It is the amount of standards assessed out of all the standards from that grade level. The colored bar indicates the amount of mastery, approaching, and partial knowledge with assistance. We'll see more detail about that once we click into the class. Click on the green name of the class to go to the next screen. This screen shows the student's progress and all of the assessed standards. Each row represents a standard. The colored box on the left indicates their level of understanding for that standard. The abbreviation for the standard is listed, and then a full description of the standard is there. You will see more of the standard description when you use the arrow to drop down a standard for more detail. This circle has another percentage inside. This percentage tells you the percent of mastery out of all the standards assessed to this point. It is not comparable to a letter grade. This is a shift from what we think when we see a percentage like that. Below the circle is the key for the meaning of each color, along with the associated percent of standards that fall within that mastery range. There is an email teacher button at the top. If you use this button, the teacher will receive an email for Mastery Connect with your message. Teachers get many emails for Mastery Connect and might not realize that this is a parent message. It is still best to continue to contact your child's teacher through the district email account that you already use. This will prevent any communication from getting overlooked. There is also a View Report button that puts this information into a couple different graphs. Teachers have the ability to leave notes for parents. Also, if a teacher chooses to use the Notes feature, you would see a button to click View Notes. Now we're going to drop down a couple of standards to get more detail. Here I can see the full description of the standard. The standards are often wordy, so some of our teachers put together a more friendly language about what students need to be able to do within each standard. You'll see that listed below the standard. Each paper icon indicates an assessment for that standard. You can see the mastery of the standard from each time it was assessed. The icons appear in the order the tests were given, with the most recent being on the right. The trend we want to see is this: a student improving his or her level of understanding with each assessment. Sometimes, though, you will see that the student may go from mastery to approaching to partial knowledge. Some things to consider are the sample size, if there aren't many questions and a student makes mistakes, they may fall into approaching mastery, or that test may have been testing a different aspect of a standard, like subtraction instead of addition. Whatever the reason, this is what teachers look at and work from to target instructions for students to help them achieve mastery. As I mentioned previously, if you only see one assessment in here, it may be a pre-assessment or they are at the start of their learning progression with that particular skill. The next slide is going to show what the student portal looks like. Students have access to Mastery Connect, and they have a few more options than parents. This is the menu a student sees. Students can see things teachers have had them work on in Mastery Connect under the activity heading. They can also view their assessment results in their student portal. Teachers can make a playlist of activities for students that are website links, printable pages, or other resources that go along with the standards. Students can also see the same progress screen that you see by clicking on Progress in their menu. Thank you for taking time to learn more about Mastery Connect and the Parent Portal. We appreciate the time you've put into looking into this resource. If you have any further questions about your child's progress, please contact your child's teacher. If you have any questions about Mastery Connect, please contact the building principal. Thank you.